Ropp Star Gang, what up, what up? Appreciate everyone in here. Join the live stream. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do again. Or do we just do this? We rock with this again. I think this one's the best one yet. I think this one's the best one yet. I'm up here. You see that. You see the nice little PowerPoint slideshow I got for you. I still think you have to throw Bryce back out there, even if you think it's over with him. Let's face it, the Panthers season is already over. Need to see. So we already got people in here. We got King JP. What's up, man? Appreciate you joining. He said this shouldn't even be a question. Keep Bryce on the bench. What up, Raw Walk? Jen, how are you? Hope all is well. Marcos Cash comes in and says, what's up? Panther Nation, subscribe, hit that bell for the latest news and updates and analysts on the Carolina Panthers. Don't forget to show your love support by pounding that like button on your way in or out. Yeah, and also if you click that post notifications bell, you also get notified with news and updates and analysts on NFL because I've been doing a lot of NFL takes on shorts. Trade Bryce, Hubbard, Xavier Woods for future picks and fire the whole staff. Start fresh, new culture. Draft a few linemen next year and Arch Manning in 2026. Whoa, is coming in here hot with that one. Bryce trade value is already low, so if he doesn't play well, you'd still only get a 5th or 6th round pick for him. I like Hubbard. I'm sick and tired of my favorite players getting traded. Shit is getting mad annoying. I understand, Kenneth. I understand. Well, we're going to talk about it. We're definitely going to talk about it. We got a lot to talk about, man. So let's just get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, should the Panthers start Bryce Young over Andy Dalton? I hate this conversation because I've seen it all over Twitter, right? Like, let's cut the chase. Bryce Young should not be on the field right now for the Panthers. And here's why. And here's why and what's the point. Okay? Watching this kid flop around with a noodle arm, averaging 90 yards passing per game, again, is a waste of time. We've already seen that show, ladies and gentlemen, and it sucked. All right? And it sucked. Okay? And it's not like Andy Dalton's playing terribly. He does make some boneheaded mistakes. Like I said, he looks sharp at times, but then those inconsistencies show. He's also 30, however old he is. He's probably on the verge of retiring anyways. It's not like he's the second coming of Tom Brady, right? Like it's not like Tom Brady. It's not like when Tom Brady left New England and went to Tampa Bay. That's not Andy Dalton. But at least he's out there moving the damn offense, and the offense is competent and is putting up points. And it actually has put us in winning chances, just like in the Atlanta Falcons game. We had our chances. We had our chances to win that game. We had our chances to also, lose that game too. But, given the fact that this team's just a dumpster fire team, a shot at scoring more than a field goal every drive, you got to keep Dalton in there. And here's the first thing. All right. And here's my argument to this. Okay. So hear me out, because I see some of you guys saying, like Broski Bear thinks we should start Bryce. Bryce Young looked like crap in the first 2 starts. That's the first thing. He was bailing out of clean pockets. He threw god-awful picks. Just straight up didn't see the field, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is a guy that was playing like he was scared of his own shadow. Confidence, 0. Trust in his own line, 0. It was a disaster. So Canales, the head coach, didn't want to sit back and watch the whole team drown in Young's growing pains. The reason why Dave Canales did this is because he's trying not to lose that locker room already, number one. Number two, he went to David Tepper and said, Tepper, this kid ain't it. Basically, we're not doing anything. It's not doing us any good. Dan, how do you feel? Tepper, how do you feel? Okay, I'm going to bench him. Y'all cool with that? Meeting adjourned. And honestly, it was the right call. Dalton stepped in, and suddenly the offense stopped looking like a peewee squad. So Canales was showing that not only he could coach, but he also was showing that he was trying to save himself and his fan base that he could coach, but also was showing that he was trying to lose this locker room. I think if Bryce is still playing, Dave Canales loses his locker room. Okay? But under Dalton, the Panthers are at least functional. Right? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we're averaging 22.5 yards or 22.5 points per game. That is correct. As of right now, ever since Andy Dalton has started, we're averaging 22.5 points per game compared to 6.5 points per game when Bryce Young was at the helm. But everybody keeps saying, well, let's see what we got. We saw all last season of the 16 games that he played and the two this year. I don't know how much more we need to see. Dalton's not perfect. He's going to miss throws and toss a pick here and there. But at least he knows how to stay composed, stand in the pocket, and deliver an absolute dart here and there down the field. Plus, the skill players actually trust him. And trust matters a lot, right? Now, some people are screaming, and I've seen some of it in the chat, to put Young back because, hey, the season's already washed, right? That's absolutely wrong. That's a lazy take. You can't just throw in the towel 7 games into the season. Now, they're not mathematically out of the playoff race yet. I don't think they're going to make a playoff run. I don't think they're going to win the NFC South, but that doesn't mean we still can't win some games. Canales is trying to build something resemble to a winning culture. Flip-flopping between quarterbacks is the last thing this team needs, ladies and gentlemen. You want to break the guy's spirit for good in Bryce Young? Okay. Put him back out there now. Get him demolished all over again. Get him demolished all over again. What's up, Chris? I see you in here. See James Island, Broski Bear. I got your comment. I see you, big dog. Listen. You're not. You're speaking to. You sound like some Panthers fans. It's kind of funny that you as a Bears fan, Broski, you're coming in here with that. I'm surprised. I don't know if you're doing that to troll to say put Bryce in so we continue to lose, so we can help you guys out with that first overall second round pick, or you're being dead ass serious. James Allen's got a point there. Would you rather lose 38-3 or 38-20? Exactly, Demo. Yeah, and Chris, I agree with you. Antonio, I appreciate you joining, man. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate that. Keep Hubbard. Yeah, we're going to talk more about Hubbard here shortly, but we're still on the Bryce train here. Because here's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the reality. Dalton is your best option until he isn't. Listen to what I just said. The reality is Dalton is the best option until he isn't. He is steady. He's not lighting it up, but he keeps this offense in rhythm, which is more than what we can say for Bryce Young. You start Young now, and you've just invited another round of embarrassing play. I think this kid needs to sit the rest of the season, watch and learn from someone who's been doing this for 14 years, even if it's a guy that's pushing 37 years old. This isn't the time to baby Young through his mistakes. It's about giving this team the best shot to win right now, and Dalton's that guy. The defense is a whole pile of trash, right? You're giving up 33.8 points a game, which is why people think, hey, let's tank, start the rookie. But even if this defense is a flaming wreck of shit, you don't throw a quarterback just to see what happens. That's not development. That's desperation, ladies and gentlemen. So for all you Panthers fans, stop it, because that's not development. Again, it's you being desperate. You're being desperate to want this kid to be the franchise guy so bad. If you do, and you want to have some hope left of it, you sit Bryce the rest of the game and you let him learn from the guy who's been in the league for 14 years. Because Young's got time to figure it out. Hell, maybe after the bye week. Or if Dalton starts throwing ducks, but right now, starting him would just be setting him up to fail again, in my opinion. Let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. If Dalton craps the bed later on, yeah, then you can think about putting Young back into salvaging whatever it is that we're trying to salvage. But until that happens, you got to sit this kid down. Because, yes, this season's still alive, technically. And Dalton gives you the best chance to scrap out a few more wins. But once the playoffs are truly out of reach, then maybe you give Bryce Young the reins for those last 7 games of the season, right? Let him prove something in garbage time when wins don't matter. And hey, another thing, he's not just throwing into the fire, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, throw him out there and let him see what he's got in garbage time when the wins don't matter at that point. And he's just not throwing, getting thrown out there to the wolves. Bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, and I need you Panthers fans to understand this and other fans watching, Bryce Young isn't ready. Dalton's not the future. But at least he's not the problem right now. Because, if you want to tank for another high draft pick, fine. Do it. I don't care. But if you want to try and win some games while teaching your young quarterback without ruining his psyche and you ride Dalton until he implodes, then you see what Bryce can do when the stakes are lower and the pressure's off. I look at it this way. You want that Bryce Young's that shiny new car you want, right? Shiny new car, pulled off the lot, 2024. Let's go with a 2024. I like the new Bronco. So let's go with the 2020. You want that 2024 shiny ass brand new Bronco, lifted up, got mud tires. All right, that's Bryce Young. You're driving right now a 2015 Nissan Rogue. I don't know. Something like that. 100,000 miles. You're like, you might as well ride that and you don't have a car payment. You might as well ride that car until it blows up, until you need to get the new car. You might want that new Bronco, but why not save some money and without having a car payment and until that thing implodes, just like Andy Dalton. So I say we wait it out before we start Bryce Young again. That will definitely become the worst team in the NFL. Matt Chatter's coming in here with a lot of messages. He types about us really, really fast, but he keeps it short and sweet. Keep Hubbard, trade Miles. Dalton makes a lot of dumb decisions. Thinks Bryce can learn from Dalton. No one will trade a 7th for Bryce. DC Gamer had his chance. It's not going to get any better with him here. It's not going to get it. We need to send somewhere else. Maybe his confidence will be better on a different team. Yeah, I mean, maybe. We don't know that, though. DC Gamer, we don't know if, with our luck, as Panthers fans, with our luck, this kid will go somewhere else and end up balling out. He would end up balling out, and it would just be ridiculous. With our luck, though. I know that. Guys, make sure you do me a favor. There's over 26 people watching. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. All right. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen nothing yet, Brooks practicing chat. We're gonna talk about Jonathan Brooks. As of right now, he is looking to be coming back. I know that they activated him to practice. He has that 21-day window. And they had to activate it this week, which they did. I posted a short about that, Mad Chatter. If you missed out, well, you need to go check it out. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Anyone shopping defensive tackle? As of right now, I haven't heard any team shopping defensive tackle. I've heard teams shopping. Here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of trades still coming, man. Mike Williams out of the Jets is probably going to be traded now with the Davante Adams trade. This trade market's going to be huge right now. This trade deadline is going to be huge. I think there's going to be a lot of moves that people don't expect. Mike Williams is going to be traded from the Jets for sure now that Davante Adams is there. You know, why not keep Allen Lazard, Davante Adams, and Garrett Wilson, which Aaron Rodgers, has the best connections with. So Mike Williams is going to He'll probably get traded. I think DeAndre Hopkins out of Tennessee is going to get traded somewhere. Probably Kansas City could be a spot that he goes to, or Pittsburgh. I could see one of the two. Treylon Burks out of Tennessee, the wide receiver. He's not really getting any burn there in Tennessee. And I think the Titans should probably go ahead and get him out of there. Now there are some defensive guys that I've been looking into. Greg Newsome, I could guarantee you with the Cleveland disaster, they could be looking to trade him. Emmanuel Ogbah could be a sacrifice from Miami because he's still performing. But they might try to flip him for some future picks. And then Josh Uche, who's an edge defender as well, like Ogbah, could be a guy that the Patriots look to use for trade bait. So, which they could use for some draft capital. So there's going to be a lot of guys out there. I think that Carolina could possibly target. I just don't know yet. First practice today, but I don't expect him to play this week. Yeah, I don't know. You can't let him. You can't expect that. I don't see it. Shaq Lawson might help. Apparently, from Shaq Lawson's standpoint, Mad Chatter, he's still got it. He's still got it. He still got it. Yes. Jaden Cromartie and Franklin have been activated as well. Hey, Clay. So after the KC game, put Bryce in so we can put the final nail in this coffin so we can finally convince David Tepper to trade Bryce because I tried to give him a second chance, but he's just not it. No, yeah, I mean, you can trade him. You might as well go ahead and trade him. I just don't know who's going to get him. The only teams that I could see going after him, after Bryce, if they're really desperate for a quarterback, is either the Rams or you trade him to Pittsburgh. What would be a crazy trade is if Carolina trades Bryce to Pittsburgh for Justin Fields. That would be a crazy trade because they're starting Russell Wilson after a 4-2 start this season for Justin Fields. I think that's crazy. Why fix what ain't broke? Why fix what ain't broke? But there's going to be a lot of trades out there. I think Diontae Johnson's probably his name's still going to be getting thrown in that trade market. I think Adam Thielen's probably going to get thrown in that trade market. Another guy, Cooper Kupp. Guys, I'm not kidding you. Cooper Kupp's name has been thrown around. Cooper Kupp's name's been thrown around for a trade piece. Oh, Antonio, I think there's going to be a bunch of trades happening for a while now. I think there's going to be a bunch of trades happening across the league for the next until the trade deadline, really. I mean, it's just going to continue to happen. Yeah. Stacy, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining. DJ Wanham should play. We'll see what DJ Wanham is. Man, they activated him last week. He can start practicing last week. I just don't know if he's going to be ready to go or not. Bryce needs to be traded because right now we're not set up for a short quarterback with a lot of flaws. So we need to start over for both Carolina. Bryce needs a fresh start. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see, Chris. AOL is instant that said that DJ. Yeah, I mean, Antonio, they activated him. He's just not ready to go yet. He's just not ready to go. Oh, I like Fields. Yeah. I don't know. Trade Miles and Adams for picks. Mingo, especially. Yeah, I agree with you, Shannon. Trey Johnson, hold on to Chuba Hubbard. We need a dual threat running back. Miles Sanders, if we stuck with him, use him as a short pass receiver, I suppose. Chris, I don't like that. Listen, I wouldn't mind moving Miles Sanders into the slot. That would be I think that would be fun. But I also like the dual running back sets that we saw this past week against Atlanta. I like some of the play calling I liked a lot in the offense. If we just had some better quarterback play, we'll see. Bryce could go to Cleveland. Yeah. Tennessee. I don't know about Tennessee. Jets could sit behind Rodgers, maybe. That could be an interesting one there. I think the Rams, maybe Miami is another team that Bryce could go to, Marcos. I can see both of those the teams going after him. Really, that's it. I mean, that's the only teams that I could think of. Bills cut wide receiver, long name from Chiefs, Clay. Yeah, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, MVS. That's who they cut to make room for Amari Cooper. Yeah, TMJ got cut by the 49ers. Mad chatter. All right, let's get into this debate because I've seen a lot of this. The Panthers trading Chuba Hubbard right now, ladies and gentlemen, would be a bonehead move. We're always talking about not keeping in-home talent. We're always talking about that we never develop our draft picks. Well, here's a draft pick that has developed to a guy who's on pace right now for over 1,300 yards. I get that we've got Jonathan Brooks coming back. Yeah, he's that shiny new toy that they spent that second-round pick on. But trading a Hubbard when he's finally showing us as one of the best running backs in the league, back-to-back weeks, right there, top 5, that's just dumb. Let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. Chuba's been grinding all season, and it's paid off. He's the NFL's third leading rusher right now. He's put up 407 yards, 2 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks alone. So more than just the numbers, he's been the heart of this offense, dragging them along while they figure out how to function as a unit. So you don't just trade away the one guy who's actually doing his job because some rookie is ready to take a few snaps, which is idiotic because he's coming off an ACL tear. But sure, some people will argue, hey, Brooks was a second-round pick. Hubbard's a free agent this season. Yeah, great. Except there's a problem. No one's giving up Jack for a running back these days. They're just not. The league doesn't value them the way they used to. You're not getting the meaningful return for Hubbard, even if he's playing out of his mind. Same thing with the safety position. The league doesn't value them the same way as a corner or a linebacker or an edge rusher or a nose tackle. You look at the league, okay, for example. You got guys like Sean Tucker down there in Tampa Bay, an undrafted free agent who's been putting up big numbers, right? He put up big numbers last week. The markets are flooded with good backs. The teams aren't desperate enough to shell out for a rental running back, even one as good as Hubbard. So what does that say? If the Panthers dump Hubbard now, this is a dude to me that has been a model of consistency, busting his ass every day, and head coach Dave Canales has been singing his praise all season. The only thing I have to say about Canales is he's not giving Hubbard that 20 to 25 plus carries that he deserves. Because Canales literally said that Hubbard's the type of guy that this team should look up to because of his work ethic and drive to improve. You trade him now, you basically telling everyone else, hey, it doesn't matter how hard you work. We'll still ship you off for some half-assed return. So, yeah, Brooks coming off an ACL injury, ladies and gentlemen. It's exciting. He's young. He's got potential. But why act like having two good running backs is a problem? Last I checked, the NFL is a tough league. And the running backs get beat up constantly. So why not have both Hubbard and Brooks? This is the same franchise that thrived with a dual back system before. Guys like D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, smashing through defenses for years. Remember when Stephen Davis and Deshaun Foster carried the Panthers to a Super Bowl? Having two capable backs, ladies and gentlemen, is a good thing, and not some crisis that demands a trade. Let's also be real here about the picture. This team isn't sniffing a Super Bowl anytime soon. The Panthers are in the middle of a rebuild, trying to figure out who the hell they even are. Canales is trying to establish some culture here. Hubbard's a huge part of that. Moving him now for some meaningless draft pick, that's not just stupid. It's toxic. It's already toxic enough when you've got an NFL owner who meddles within your football operations for the past 8 seasons. So don't torch the few bright spots that you do have, because you're impatient to see what the rookie can do, just like what we were talking about earlier. So to put it bluntly to all you fools out there, no, the Panthers should not start Bryce Young. No, the Panthers shouldn't trade Chuba Hubbard when Brooks gets back. It's not worth it. You keep him. You run the damn ball. You stop making dumb decisions just because the future looks a little bit shinier than the present. Just make it make sense to me, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. We're going to talk about Johnson too, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this is his contract year, Mad Chatter. Trying to keep up with all y'all's comments. Miles ain't been nowhere near Chuba since he been here. Pay Chuba trade. Yeah, you need to trade Miles. We need to trade Miles. We just need to trade Miles Sanders. I know a team in Dallas that needs some running back help, but apparently Jerry Jones isn't going to be in the trade market. This dude, you think between the New Orleans Saints right now, the Dallas Cowboys, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Cleveland Browns. Trying to think of other teams right now that are going through it. You know, it's not too bad in Carolina. It's not too bad, I think, compared to Cleveland right now. I think I'd still take our situation then over Cleveland right now, ladies and gentlemen. Wouldn't you say? When you pay Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Massage Watson, you know what I mean? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say that out loud. Deshaun Watts under my towel. Watson, that guy. After they paid him that big ass contract and he's not performing. At least we got a rookie quarterback that's not performing. We're not paying some guy $230 million. I'd say we're better. I think I could name a couple teams that we're better off with. Jacksonville's one. Look how much they're paying Trevor Lawrence. I think we're better off than Jacksonville right now. That's two teams I could already say I feel better off. I think Dallas is good. We're not better off than Dallas. They got the talent. They just don't got the coaching staff, and their owner is an absolute nightmare. Him and David Tepper are battling for worst owners. So, if we think we've got it bad here, go look at other places as well right now. Go look at other places as well right now. Because it ain't great here, but there's other places right now. I'd be willing to say that we're better off than. Clowney could be on the trade block, Shannon. I've seen a lot of rumors where Clowney could be on the trade block. After what I've seen from Xavier Woods, I wouldn't mind moving on from him either. Josh, I feel you on that. I feel the same way you feel when we talk about development players. We don't develop guys and we don't keep them in-house. That's a big issue to me. Why do you think that there's only two? I think it's a total of 11 draft picks that are still on this team since 2018. That's terrible, numbers-wise. So, yeah, I feel you on that. Carolina has not been able to develop and keep their talent in-house. That's got to change as well. We've got to be able to draft, develop, and keep. And we have not been able to do that. They couldn't, guys, the Brian Burns thing, people need to realize, yes, they paid $100,000 to so they could afford Burns, but they just didn't believe in the production that they were getting out of him. That's what that tells me from the front office. I didn't believe in the production we were getting out of him. That's what I'm saying, Dumbo. If you want to be the next Detroit Lions, you sign Chuba Hubbard and you get Brooks in like a Jahmyr Gibbs and you run that two-headed monster right there. You want to fix this offense and make it fun like Detroit? That's what you do. You don't trade Chuba Hubbard. You pay Chuba Hubbard. And you pay and you develop Jonathan Brooks. There's your Detroit Lions offense. At least the start of it. Leggett could be your Jameson Williams. Take the top off the defense. Now the only thing you're missing is a Sam Laporta, which Jadeveon Sanders could be. And then you get Amon-Ra St. Brown. That could be Diontae Johnson. Now all you need is your quarterback. The offensive line, I think, solidified. You're just going to have to draft a center and a right tackle because there's no telling about Corbett. And then your right tackle, Taylor Moton's going to be out of here soon. He's up there in age. Jaden Krumeti is the defensive tackle we drafted out of Mississippi State. He was our 6th round pick. I think 6th round. Yeah, I mean, Coker's a guy too. I mean, here's the thing. Coker could be your Amon-Ra St. Brown too, but I mean, we don't know that yet. We know what Diontae Johnson can be. Coker has shown some sign of life, though, the past 2 games. I'm liking what I've seen from Coker a lot, man. You talk about a guy that gets open. Jalen Coker gets open. Jalen Coker gets open. Dalton missed him in a wide open end zone situation. Xavier Woods is that guy you want to, take the top off the defense or throw it to him in the end zone and let him go up and get it. He's that 50-50 ball guy. That's what they brought him in here to be. I think you re-signed him, though, Kristen. I think you re-signed him. I kind of disagree with that. No one wants Miles' contract. I guarantee you Dallas would take it, though. Keep Ching JP. They need running back help bad. What would their nickname be? I can tell you what would be a great name for this duo. I have a Chuba for Brooks. I have a Chuba for Brooks, Chris. And if you know, you know. I have a Chuba for Brooks. Get it? Do you get it? I don't want to be feel. Trying to get all to you guys comments here. Exactly. So again, it could be worse. Stacy's correct. We would save like $10 million if we extended Diontae Johnson now. We'd save like $10 million. Just think how mad we would be with Watson now. Shake my head. Right? Chuba for Brooks. That's funny. All right, let's move on. So let's talk about the Diontae Johnson trade buzz because it's definitely swirling. We can't tiptoe around this situation, but like, what the hell are the Panthers going to do with Diontae Johnson? Like, we've already seen Amari Cooper, we've already seen Devontae Adams. We've heard that Diontae Johnson, Adam Thielen's name's been thrown out there in the trade market. Jadeveon Clowney on our team's been thrown out there in the trade market. Miles Sanders' name has been thrown out there in the trade market. Bryce Young's name's been out there thrown out in the trade market. But the NFL trade line is creeping up, and teams are making moves already. Like I said, Adams back to Aaron Rodgers in New York. Amari Cooper off to Buffalo. So I feel like we're trying to figure out right now as Carolina Panthers fans, is this team going to be buyers or are they sellers? And we talked about this, I think, last week a little bit. But here's the thing about Diontae Johnson. This is a guy they traded for this offseason, and he could be gone by the deadline. He could be. He's a guy that his name has been thrown in that hat. So let's not just be like, oh, well, we should sign him. We should keep him. I understand that, but we're not the ones making the decisions. Okay. So this guy could be gone at the deadline. So we might as well just go ahead, get it in our minds that this is a possibility. Okay. So Carolina's front office with Dan Morgan, Brant Tillis, they haven't really been showing their cards yet. They've been playing coy, basically claiming they aren't eager to trade him. Meanwhile, you've got him on a contract year, right? At the end of the season, his contract is up. So, in my opinion, I don't think he sticks around for a bag of peanuts. Okay, let's be real here. They're going to need to get their shit together. I think first off, Johnson probably isn't going to be here, even if we offer him a contract at the end of the year, because he doesn't want to play for a team that's in this as much disarray. But sometimes money does talk, so we have to put that in consideration as well. But Johnson is a solid wideout. He's proven here that in Pittsburgh. Now he's proving it here in Carolina, where, in my opinion, he's the best receiver on the team. And we desperately need anyone to catch balls at this point. The problem is, like I've said, and we've said it in the chat, some of you guys were saying it, the Panthers have a history of letting valuable players walk out the door next to nothing. They can't afford to do that again. Okay? I think that's the thing that we've got to realize here. Like I know Kristen in the chat thinks that we should trade him. Some people disagree, right? But Johnson's going to want to get paid. And honestly, they should probably pay him. Here's why. And Kristen, I want you to hear this. Here's the reason why they should pay him. Number one, they'd save $10 million of cap space. I think it's like 10.6 actually. So but here's the reason, the main reason why. Because good players don't want to come to Carolina. This franchise has a reputation problem of that. It's in shambles, and players see it. So if Johnson's balling out and actually likes it here, then you may well make sure that he stays. If they're not willing to pay up, Morgan better be ready to deal. You don't let Johnson leave for nothing in free agency when you can flip him for a solid return right now. So, sure, you could trade him, but if you don't trade him, you sign him. So, especially like teams right now with the Kansas City Chiefs out there salivating for a wide receiver 1, hell, even a wide receiver 2, with Adams and Cooper off the table, Johnson's trade value is only climbing. And if they don't plan on keeping him around, they need to cash in before the deadline hits. Now, here's the true kicker to all of this, ladies and gentlemen. So listen up. Before you make your arguments, Johnson's not just any random wide receiver, okay? The Panthers gave up Diontae Jackson. Sorry, I said Diontae. Diontae Jackson. One of our best corners to get him, which right now, and Pittsburgh, Diontae Jackson looks like their best corner in Pittsburgh right now. I think it's more due to the fact of how Pittsburgh runs that defense, but that's just me and how good that Pittsburgh defense is. Again, he also has J.J. Watt, Cameron Hayward, all these other guys going after the quarterback that puts pressure on the quarterback. And again, a wise man once said, an elite pass rush can make an average corner room look good. So, that's why Diontae Jackson's over there looking good. But trading Johnson after just 7 months being here, I think would be a slap in the face to whatever strategy they're supposed to be working on. But again, if he's not willing to sign long-term, they can sit on their hands, and you can't just sit there on your hands and watch him walk away, though. So if I'm Dan Morgan and I'm Brant Tillis, we need to be calling this guy in the offense to say, hey, man, do you want to be here long-term or not? If he doesn't, trade him. If he does, sign him. You got some tough choices to make. Like, you got to figure out to keep Johnson and hope to extend him and build him into that franchise receiver, or does he play it smart, get some value in return before it's too late? Either way, this is a situation that has to be handled with some balls, because another screw up like this, and then Carolina's back stuck in the mud. That clock is ticking, and the Panthers don't have the luxury of playing it safe anymore, ladies and gentlemen. We got to start taking some risk. Toxic Black, I see you. I see you. God, so many comments. I can't keep up. I can't keep up with all your comments. I thought that Deshaun Watson one was funny. Guys, if you really want me to comment, because there's so many comments, and I'm not really asking for your money, but if you really want me to answer one of your comments and talk about it, you're going to have to give me a super chat, because I can't go through a list of comments because I just see them just keep coming and coming and coming. Yeah. Watson is a $70 million next 2 years. Yep. That's what I'm saying, Josh. Like, you think we've got it bad? It's bad. And plus I'm going back to all y'all's other comments, and I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess up the flow of the show. Do we feel that Kermit can actually help our D-line? Kendall Johnson? You never know. You never know. I know. I mean, I could give you his draft breakdown, but I haven't seen enough of the kid actual play here. I could give you all you want to know about him from Mississippi State. That's what I'm kind of getting at too, JP. Like, if he wants to be here, he'll be here. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But you damn make sure he doesn't. You damn sure make sure Cooper only got a 6th round pick in history. No, Flame for Jesus. They got. So here's the thing: the Bills got the Amari Cooper and a 6th round pick. They traded a 3rd round pick and a 7th to Cleveland to get Amari Cooper. So let me make that clear to you. They trade a 3rd and a 7th for Amari Cooper. Now, I don't know if the 3rd round was a conventional 3rd round, or if it was a 3rd round this year, or if it was a future 3rd. All I know is they traded a 3rd and a 7th, and then but then Cleveland gave Buffalo a 6th and Amari Cooper. Yeah, Flame for Jesus. No one's saying cut Bryce. I'm saying trade him, because then you'd be less dead cap hit. You trade him, it's a less dead cap hit. Marcos Cash with the 6 members for 6 months. Shout out to him. How many likes are we at, ladies and gentlemen? How many likes are we at? How many likes? All right, we're at 19 likes. Guys, do me a favor. We're at 30. Got 31 people watching on YouTube. We got 5 people watching on Twitter. We got 1 person watching on Twitch. Twitch doesn't get a lot of people yet, but let's get up to 25 likes or more right now with the 31 people we have. Let's get up to 31 likes. We should be up at 31 likes, honestly. But which means there's like 12 people slacking. So the 12 people that are slacking, make sure you just pound that like button. All right. Well, let's get this up. Yeah. It was a pretty good trade. No, I mean, here's the thing. No way I made that trade for Cooper. That's just, hey, Cleveland, I think Cleveland wants to go full rebuild. I think they want to move on from the Deshaun Watson ordeal. I think they want to go for an absolute, they want to tear that place down from the ground up. I think they keep Kevin Stefanski. I don't think it's a Kevin Stefanski issue. I think Stefanski's a great coach. I think they just tear it down from the ground up. They've got to. And they got to move on from they might not even, I don't know if they'll move from Deshaun Watson's contract. I don't know how they'll get rid of him. Unless a team is just desperate. But I doubt it. So Marcos Cash, shout out to you. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I got to remember to turn this volume up.
Another one.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Shout out to Marcos with that membership, being here for 6 months. Thank God that Fit isn't making these decisions. That's for damn sure, Kendall. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Bing bong.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Appreciate you, Kendall. Yeah, that's probably what's going to have to happen, JP. That's probably what's going to have to happen. I feel bad for. That's what I'm saying. Like, go look at Jacksonville. Go look at the Browns. Like, you think we've got it bad? I think the Browns and Jacksonville have it worse than we do. I truly do. With the contracts that they just paid both of their quarterbacks, at least we're only writing a rookie contract. And at least we don't have to worry about that. That's all I'm saying. At least you didn't pay Bryce Young $270 million. Guaranteed or whatever it was. I think it was like it was something crazy guaranteed. I don't think it was 270 guaranteed, but it was a lot of money for Deshaun. Was watching a Browns podcast. They can't move on from Watson for 2 more years. That's rough. That's rough. Kamala at, oh no. Hey Cleveland, can we get Yeah, I would love that. I would love that.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Yeah, I would love that. Could you imagine? Yeah, dude, that would be sick. Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney back together, JP. Take Myles Garrett for the I'll take Myles Garrett for the I bet you would, Toxic Black. Him and Judon together would be absolutely filthy. They just signed Lawrence too. Exactly. Playing for Jesus. That's why I'm trying to make light of the situation a little bit. Like we could be in worse situations. Like we could be paying a guy like a Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence who are very underperforming their contracts that you can't move on for a certain amount of time. At least we're stuck. If we're stuck with Bryce, another year, right? At least we're only stuck for him with another year, and you're not overpaying him, and you're not taking a huge dead cap hit, right? You still have enough room to go and sign guys. You know what I mean? So there is some positives to this, but there is some other things we need to talk about here. Why did that act funny? Yeah, you stay like that. Panthers must address flaws to compete. That's another topic for today. Okay. Here's the thing. We've been shooting ourselves in the foot a lot lately in games, and it's getting old. And I know as you fans are getting tired of watching this team throw away winnable games, which I thought last week was a winnable game because of how close it was and how we really after that halftime, when we went into halftime only down by 5, I'm like, we're still in this. And we were only down 28-20 driving, and then that pick happened. That's what I'm talking about. Because, this past weekend, like I said, it was no different. They had every damn opportunity to put away the Atlanta Falcons last week, but instead they found new ways to lose. And we continue to shoot ourselves in the foot. So let's not act like everything was a disaster, because, again, we're going to talk about some of these young guys, but some of the young guys showed up. Jalen Coker built on his last game with a few clutch catches. First-year tight end, Jadeveon Sanders, took advantage of Tommy Trimble's absence. Had his best game, 5 receptions, basically almost 50 yards. It wasn't anything to write home about, but hey, at least the kid could get open, which is more than what we can say half the roster most weeks. Jonathan Mingo. And let's not forget Xavier Legette, the first rounder. had a couple of highlight catches that showed flashes of what he could be if he ever, gets some proper, polish. So it's a tiny glimmer of hope in a season that's been all about missed chances, in my opinion. But the mistakes are killing this team. Like, for example, if we're talking about the defense, it's been rough. Like, the communication on the secondary has been an absolute mess. Pre-snap reads were all over the place. And it looked like no one knew what the hell was going on half the time. It's hard to expect much else when this team lacks experience everywhere you look. But come on, man. Like, this is the NFL. Now, I will want to address that there was one bright spot last week. Charles Harris, this guy is a former first rounder. He's never really quite lived up to the hype, but damn if he wasn't out there grinding last week, man. Same thing with Trevor Wallace, which we're going to talk more about that boy here in a minute. The stats don't tell the full story. When I went back and watched the tape, Harris was relentless, busting through double teams, pressuring the quarterback in a way that we haven't seen from him before. If a few more bodies on the defensive line could get healthy, maybe we can start getting some real results there. But that's where the good news stops, though, because the rest of the game was a disaster. And there was a lot of disasters that could have been avoidable mistakes. You got 10 penalties for 79 yards. Like, you got to be kidding me on that. A solid team struggles to come back from that kind of self-inflicted damage. A team like the Panthers with all their issues, forget it. And all these penalties, you just run yourselves, you weren't just running of the mill 5-yarders, right? These penalties weren't just 5-yard penalties. They were game-changing screw-ups. Like, take the false start by Ike Ekwonu on that Panthers second drive. Remember that? Which turned into a pivotal 7-point score into a field goal. But Ekwonu already killed the first drive with a false start too. And then when Damian Lewis got hit with a holding call in the red zone early in the second half, then went a shot at tying the game. And instead they settled for a field goal to cut it to 5. So that's the story of this team that is settling for less for me, right? Opportunities, more like missed opportunities, right? The Panthers couldn't capitalize on anything. They had almost two picks. They had almost 2 picks offs from Kirk Cousins that would have walked into the touchdowns. Both fell harmlessly to the turf. That's what bad teams do. They almost make plays, but never quite get there. Right? And then Dalton. I mean, the crucial interception, man, came off at the worst possible time right after Dave Canales decided to get cute and move away from the run game, which still blows my mind to me. That was actually working. And he throws Ian Thomas on this crossing route with A.J. Terrell on him. You can tell and Ian Thomas goes, well, I didn't think he was that fast. A.J. Terrell would burn you in a 40, Ian Thomas. Like, let's be honest, man. Why are we throwing out there a blocking tight end with bricks for hands on a crossing route or whatever it was? Might have been a drag route. I don't even know what it was. But Dalton, as a veteran, a 14 veteran, for God's sakes, you got to be able to see that Mingo was right there for the 5-yard check down on 2nd and 8, and he could have got 5 yards. At least it had been 3rd and 3, or he could have got the extra 3 yards for the 8. But he makes this mistake that cost this team another shot at turning things around. Like, we got to look at some of these screw-ups that can be chalked up to rookies learning the ropes. But Dalton, the offensive line, these guys are getting paid to not make these types of mistakes. And that's embarrassing at this point. The bottom line here is, and I'm not going to harp on this too much, but I felt like I needed to address this. This has kind of been weighing on my heart. Like, I feel like the Panthers team has played has to play near perfect football to win games this year. And they're far from it, because Mistakes, missed opportunities are killing them week after week. There's talent here, I think, and I think in it's on certain position groups of the team. But without cleaning up the fundamental flaws, they don't stand a chance in hell of turning the season around. And Ejiro Evero, I'm going to tell y'all once, and I'm going to tell you twice. The man's got to start making adjustments. He's not making enough. He's not making any adjustments. I understand that we want to make sure that we don't give up big plays, but we're not making any plays either on defense. I think the potential is there, but right now, it's buried underneath a pile of stupid mistakes and wasted chances. And until they fix that, it's going to be the same damn story every single week, I think. Good Lord. Yeah, JP, I agree with that. Shout out to King JP with that $5 donation. I appreciate you, my guy.
And his name is John C.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that with a $5 donation from King JP. Appreciate that. No, playing for Jesus, I was pretty happy with Christensen's performance on the offensive line. We need to keep him too. Yeah, he's young. He might be our solution to the he might be the solution that we need at the center position for how young he is. He's still young. I think he's only 25. So that could be a guy you could sign long term. Then all you have to do is then find somebody to replace Taylor Moton. That's the thing. Christensen's got to learn behind by some good, Corbett and Bozeman and some other guys, some decent, players. Now, the best center in this next coming draft, playing for Jesus, you're right. It's not he's like ranked in the 3rd round. He's like a 76 overall based off of PFF. Diontae Corleone, I think that's how you pronounce that, Cincinnati. He's nasty. He's nasty, but he's good. I think he's ranked a 2nd round pick from PFF at this point, Marcos. I was looking at some of the draft picks the other day. Landon Jackson, defensive end out of Arkansas, is a monster. Yeah, he's a monster. I still think you don't go full defense draft. I personally snatch Drew Allard or Miller Moss at 107. They're there. King JP, I'm going to tell you this right now. Here's a hot take for you, King JP. Don't be surprised if Drew Allard will be the 1st overall, will be ranked the best quarterback in this draft class. Don't be surprised. That's a hot take, but I'm telling you right now, I think Drew Allard will be the number 1 prospect quarterback in this draft class coming out this year. Then it'll be Quinn Ewers. I think if you take anyone, if you want to take someone for a 2nd round pick, I take Jackson Dart and let him sit for a year. I like Jackson Dart. I think that's a guy that you could work with. But I'm telling you, don't be surprised at Drew Allard. Don't be surprised. It's a hot take. It's a hot one. But don't be surprised. Brady C can play every position on the line. C3 was right last night. We need to keep him too. Oh yeah, Brady Christensen, no doubt. Listen, there's a lot of speculation that he might, after that USC game, he might go off this year, at the rest of the year. No doubt. I like Dart from Ole Miss too. Yeah, I like Dart. So, but hey, let's give a shout out to our rookies, man. Panthers rookies, they're bringing some spark. They're bringing some spark, man. I like it. Liking what I'm seeing from the rookies. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the rookies. Let's talk about Xavier Legette up there first. This is a guy that I think could be a future number one wide receiver. Now, a lot of people will probably disagree with me. Probably a lot of people are rolling their eyes. But he's starting to look like he might just be the best thing to happen to the Panthers offense in years. Like, the rookie wideout went full beast mode during Sunday's loss, snagged his second career touchdown with a move that screamed, "I'm here to dominate," right? Legette smoked his defender in the end zone and just pulled Clark Phillips III. And he just bullied that kid, Clark Phillips. He bullied him on that play to come up with that score. So here's the deal. Carolina desperately needs Legette to continue to develop into a star. I think this Panthers offense has been stuck in neutral for what feels like the entire 2020s, largely because they've been trash at developing wide receivers, but also they've been trash at drafting them. Plus, also you've got a GM and that was terrible at drafting, was terrible at handing contracts, and Scott Schitterer. You also had an owner meddling within football operations. You also had four different coaches, 4 different head coaches in the past since the start of the 2020s. Matt Rule, Steve Wilkes, Frank Wright, and then the special teams guy that took over as the interim after they fired Frank Wright. So, it's 4 different head coaches. So, we know Terrace Marshall Jr., he's gone. He got cut by San Francisco yesterday, for those of you that don't know. Jonathan Mingo, waste of a draft pick. We got to stop listening. By the way, we got to stop listening to Steve Smith with some of these draft picks, at least with some of these wide receiver ones. He does not hit too often. But both of those guys, Mingo and Marshall, both have been busts. So now the Panthers are leaning on aging vets like, you got Adam Thielen, right? Diontae Johnson's not an aging vet, but he's a vet. But Legette's got the talent, the size, the physical gifts, I think, to be a game-changing number one wide receiver, okay? And that this team hasn't had in years, I would probably say since DJ Moore, or you could even, if you don't want to say DJ Moore, then you could say Smitty. But the Panthers better not screw this up, because I think Legette could be the key to finally getting this offense out of its never-ending rut. Trevor Wallace, this guy's a wrecking ball we needed. On defense, things have been brutal. But when Trevor Wallace has been one of the bright spots on this defense, this dude is a wrecking ball at linebacker. The rest of the unit has been getting shredded weekly, but Wallace is out there making plays after he's had he had 15 tackles in his debut, and then he followed up with a forced fumble recovery in week 6. I would say that's not bad for a rookie that nobody wanted, right? Nobody wanted him. A lot of people questioned picking him up in the 3rd round. But could he be the next big thing in our franchise? Could he define himself like a legendary linebacker, like a Luke Kuechly or a Thomas Davis? Could he solidify himself like that? Wallace could be a guy like that. And for a defense that's has been leaking points like a faucet, you got to discover hopefully discovering Wallace in the 3rd round of this past draft is a win for this front office that has whiffed more times than we can count. Now it comes down to us developing him and keeping him here. That's the biggest issue. Right? That's the biggest issue. Some quick news real quick, ladies and gentlemen. I just got some updates here for the Carolina Panthers. Quick updates. News alert. David Newton just came out and said Panthers right tackle Taylor Moton, tricep, still not practicing. He's week to week still right now. Panthers tight end Tommy Tremble is in the concussion protocol still, but he's at practice in a red jersey doing a few things. Trying to see what else came out. No sign of Jadeveon Clowney for Wednesday's practice. Typically, he gets a vet day on Wednesday, but he hasn't practiced at all since injuring the shoulder. All the Panthers seem happy to have Jonathan Brooks. He's out there for his first official practice. Let's see. Any other news or updates? Doesn't look like anything else so far for the Carolina Panthers, though. Doesn't looks like it so far for anything else. Randall, I'm not saying draft a quarterback in this draft class. I saw your comment. I'm not saying we draft a quarterback in this draft class, but if you do, I'm naming the guys I want. Yeah, I'm going to talk about him too. I'm just getting to some of your comments. Yeah, it's that JP. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad for Mingo and TMJ. Guys, let's get this. Where are we at on the likes? Do me a favor. Let's see where we're at on the likes. 27 likes. I appreciate you guys. You got me over the hump there. We got over the hump. Let's go to 50 or like some more right now. Let's give y'all a nice little let's give you a nice little Panthers growl for the 27 likes. Appreciate you guys. All right. I appreciate you guys. Sorry, I'm getting through some of these comments here. Some of y'all are coming in with some hot takes. Some hot takes. I like that pick too, Clay. He's going to be good, I think. Yes, for sure. Please get rid of Thomas and Triple. Hey, Clay, when will we win again? Jeez, man. Probably not until maybe we win in Munich and maybe we beat the Arizona Cardinals. And hopefully maybe we beat the Saints because Spencer Rattler will be playing. So those are only 3 games I see at this point, T Green winning. And then we ended up with a 4-13 game, 4-13 season. Now, unless something turns around and we make some good moves, like we go get a decent defensive tackle, a decent edge rusher to help out this team out on the defensive end, bring in another linebacker somehow during the trade deadline. I mean, that's what you need to do. Offensively, I'm not too worried about it. We're averaging 22.5 points per game. If you're averaging 2.5 points per game, T Green, you should be able to win a lot of football games. It just comes down to our is Carr out for the year? No, but I don't think he'll be ready by the time we meet with the Saints again. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of James Pierce Jr. He's kind of fallen off of my draft board a bit. Yeah. So, all right, let's get back into it. So Trevor Wallace, man. Yeah. Jadeveon Sanders, let's talk about him. Top right corner, you see him flexing that muscle. Jadeveon Sanders doubled his career production in one game against Atlanta. So that says something. All right. The rookie tight end who had a quiet start, I think he had just 8 catches for 41 yards through 5 weeks. Finally came alive for 5 catches for 49 yards on a Sunday. That's all I need out of him every Sunday from here on out. A 5-catch, 50-yard game. All right. Those numbers won't set the world on fire, but considering how bad this tight end room has been, how much of a mess this team has been, that's progress. Like Sanders was thrust into action after injuries to Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas. He's been making the most of it. Sure, he's still raw, but in a season that feels like a total write-off, Sanders' flashes of potential are the kind of small victories that this team can cling on to while everything else burns. Jalen Coker, the undrafted Cinderella story, right? Now, here's a name that I thought this kid was going to make the team. He was a fan favorite. I thought he was going to make the team. He did. Got put on practice squad. Then they cut him, then brought him back. Whole different story. But anyways, this undrafted rookie has come out of nowhere to make a real impact in just 6 games. After getting waived in August, he resigned to the practice squad the next day, then got promoted to the active roster by late September. Coker has gone from long shot nobody to the team's wide receiver 3 in just a few weeks. So that's one hell of a rise. I think Coker's going to get more opportunities thanks to Adam Thielen's injury, but the kid has earned it. He's a sharp route runner. He's got strong hands. He plays like a guy who's been in the league actually longer than a hot minute. I think by 2025, this could be a dangerous duo forming with Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks and Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker. That could form a dangerous young duo if then you re-sign Diontae Johnson. I'm telling you, this team could have a similar style of offense that the Detroit Lions run if they do it the right way. This could be a start of something special in that receiver room, also something special in that running back room, and now you've got it all figured out, at least from the offensive standpoint. Because your offensive line is solidified. The only thing you're going to need to replace is your right tackle position. I think Brady Christensen, you could keep him here. He's only 25 years old. He looks solid at the center position. He could continue to fill that void, and he's done a very good job so far with Austin Corbett out. We'll see how the next game goes, but that first game of him going in there, transitioning into that role, I thought he did a great job. Yeah. Yep. I know he's going to be top 5, Josh. He's going to be top 5 all day. I'm not saying it from stats. I'm still seeing it from an eye test standpoint. Again, he's fallen off of me a little bit, Tyler Calhoun. He's fallen off of me for a little bit, but I like him. If he fell to the second round, I pick him up. As of right now, I think his draft stock has just fallen, man. I just do. I don't like what I've seen. I'd rather have Scruton or Scourton or whatever his name is out of Texas A&M. I can't pronounce his last name correctly. King JP with another $5 donation. I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much. King JP. Appreciate you. This is a strong defensive draft. Yes, it definitely is. Carolina needs to bring up the running back Dylan from practice squad. Miles not it. For sure, Shockwave. I'm cool with that. That's what we need, an offense similar to the Lions. I'll take that for sure. Right now, I would too. Just came out on NFL Network. Yeah. Well, some people also put out their running back rankings besides NFL Network. And they already had some on Twitter yesterday, I think it was. Yesterday. By the way, I'm loving this new mic arm, by the way. I'm loving how I can just move this around. You know, seems professional, right? Let's see. Shannon. Keep pounding. I'm tired of getting pounced every week. Something has to give. I appreciate that, T Green. Shout out to you with that one. I appreciate that $10 donation.
Cash, homie. Straight cash, homie.
Woo! Woo! Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what again? Say.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that $10 donation, T Green. I feel your pain, man. I'm just here to deliver some messages. If Brooke turns out to be good, we could have the next Williams Stewart combo possibly. Yeah, Tyler Cahoon for sure. For sure. Appreciate that, T Green. I really do. Thank you. All right, let's move on. Still got some stuff to talk about, man. Got some stuff. I had a lot of stuff on my mind that I needed to get off my chest today. And we're going to have I'll have some more content coming out to you to get today. Probably have some more shorts coming out to you guys today. Y'all got to tune into the shorts, man. I've been doing some NFL takes. Been doing a lot of NFL takes. So if y'all guys like some besides some Carolina content, I've got some NFL takes out there. So I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. I really do. Yeah, join the Discord. Join the Discord. Marcos Cash that knows best. By the way, guys, let's get up to 50 live goal, 50 likes or more right now. I think we're already over the 25 hump. We're over the 25 hump. Where are we at right now? 30 likes. All right, 20 more likes, ladies and gentlemen. 20 more likes. We already have 43 votes on the poll for today. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be at 43 likes on the channel already. So just do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. All right. Make sure you smash that like button. I greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. There is a link down below in the description. So you see where the description is underneath, where it says, join me for no BS discussion, all that. You see where it says join the channel to access the perks. There's a little link under there that you can click and it'll take you right to the membership. Here, I can copy it. If you want to become a member today to the Rockstar Report, I'm putting it in the chat now. This link that I just posted here, this will take you to become a member of the channel. If you want to go the extra mile, that's fine. If you don't, no big deal. I just appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, and I love hearing y'all's comments in the chat. That's all I ask. I don't ask for your money. If y'all want to donate like T Green and others have today, so shout out to all those guys that once again, King JP, Kendall Johnson, T Green, like those guys have. If you want to, great. If you don't, I understand inflation is a tough time right now. So I'm not too worried about y'all's money. I just want the likes and subscribes. That's it. And all that's for free. That's all I care about. Let's talk about this. Jaycee Horn on improving the Panthers defense. You could tell after that game, because we're potentially on the verge of having the worst defense, not only in franchise history, ladies and gentlemen, but we're on the verge of potentially having the worst NFL defense in NFL history. Bad. Like they're getting cooked for 33.8 points per game, which is over 4 points worse than the second worst team as of right now, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. The Jacksonville Jaguars. All right. Thank you, Toxic Black. Thank you for someone finally noticing that besides myself. Thank you. I appreciate that. There's no sign it's going to get any better soon, right? We lost a lot of key players like Derek Brown, Shaq Thompson, Josie Dole, Jane Jackson, who might drag himself back on the field this week, Dane Jackson. But it's been too much for even Ajir Evero, and the Panthers are supposedly who I think is a fraud as a defensive coordinator. I don't think Ajir Evero is as good as everybody thinks he is. Y'all have seen me. I've been vocal about it. I've said that if he doesn't turn things around, he should be fired. I still feel that way. Because, and I'm not gonna go dive into it too much, really, when it comes to the Evero thing. But all I'm gonna say is Evero was brought in with a lot of hype. He was supposed to be this next big thing of a defensive-minded defensive coordinator, a guy who's going to turn this unit into something respectable. Instead, it's been an embarrassing display of missed assignments, blown coverages, a run defense that is getting shredded weekly, right? And it's getting old, getting gashed every week. Just with Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier did to us, over 200 yards. It doesn't matter if what NFL running back is playing and if they're playing the Panthers at this point, they can have a field day. This defensive line is getting bullied. Our linebackers are out of position. The secondaries look like they're running around blindfolds half the time, and it's a joke. We saw multiple times Drake London going one-on-one with our linebackers last week. And it was multiple times, which tells me that our so-called genius of a defensive coordinator, Ajir Evero, is not making the correct adjustments. How do you not see that? That's the biggest alarming thing. That's the most frustrating thing to me about him. He has no adjustments, and I think it's because the reason why we're not seeing adjustments is because he doesn't have the answers. Here's the thing. People are going to say, well, we lost Brian Burns. We lost Frankie Luvu. You lost Jeremy Chin. You lost Derek Brown for the year. You lost Shaq Thompson for the year. Josie Jewell's been hurt. Jordan Fuller's been hurt. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of injuries on this team. But it's also the scheme does not fit the personnel, ladies and gentlemen. It just doesn't. It's a complex 3-4 scheme. This defense is too reliant on edge pressure and linebacker play that we don't have. It's a system that makes no sense for the current personnel we have. And what makes a good defensive coordinator, what makes a great defensive coordinator compared to a good is he's able to take the personnel that they have and still somehow has some type of success, or is at least able to force a couple 3-and-outs a game, if not more, than getting us shredded week in and week out. We can blame the players for not making the plays that are being called. Sure. But the miscommunications and the lack of adjustments, that's on coaching. You cannot let Ajir Evero escape by, and I'm tired of this fan base just saying, well, Ajir Evero doesn't have the personnel. Ajir Evero doesn't have a 3 technique in the middle. No, he doesn't, because they never drafted one, and nor did they ever sign one in the free agent. They dropped a slow, undersized Shy Tuttle. But also, we also got to blame Evero for telling the front office what guys he wanted to bring in, like an Ashawn Robinson, like a Josie Jewell, like a Jordan Fuller. Guys that just have not panned out, that have not looked as good as they came out to be. But again, we don't point the finger at Evero. We give him some leeway. So I'm just saying, we've got to stop just blaming the players and look at the coaching staff too. But back to what JC was saying. So I'm done with the Ejiro Evero thing. I could go on. I could actually make a whole hour podcast about Ejiro Evero. Not kidding you. But after Sunday's embarrassing loss, though, you could visibly see Jaycee Horn pissed off when he faced the media in the locker room talk. Horn has been a shutdown corner who's fighting for a long-term contract, and he didn't sugarcoat anything he said. He didn't throw his coordinator under the bus either. Well, I'll give him credit where credit's due, because I might be saying something if I was him, but that's just me. When he was asked if maybe a scheme change would fix the league's worst defense, he shut that shit down immediately, which I don't disagree with him on that part of it. Because he basically said that it wasn't about the scheme, it's about the players. Players got to make the plays. And he said, so our defensive players got to be better, and myself included. To an extent, yes. And I like the bluntness. I like the honesty that he brought. Exactly the kind of accountability that this team needs right now. So, that's been another big issue here with this fan base and players and coaches. Accountability I feel like it's hard to come by. Like, Horn isn't out here making excuses. And frankly, the rest of this defense needs to wake the hell up and take the same mindset. And he's right. This disaster isn't on Evero. The defensive coordinator, I wouldn't say that this whole disaster. Okay, before I say that, let me repeat what I meant to say there, because I jumped ahead. This disaster isn't on just Evero. He's part of the problem. But Evero, the defensive coordinator who just a few months ago was hailed as one of the NFL's brightest minds and a lock for a future head coaching job. To me, it seems like for some reason, like I said, it feels like he forgot how to coach this defense in a span of time of months. That's the reality. But I do have to say, he's also been handed a pile of steaming shit to work with. I think our secondary is better than what it's been playing, though. I think our secondary has been better than what it's been playing. So let's be real. I think the cold hard truth about this defense is I think it's got talent. You've got some bright spots in talent like Horn, like Trevor Wallace. I like Mike Jackson from what I've seen. Charles Harris stepped up in the last game. The stats don't really show his performance, but that's really it. The rest of this unit, it's either injured or they are just, the talent is lacking in that position. There's just not enough juice to compete. Week in and week out, we're just getting straight up embarrassed. Will getting some of the injured players back help plug some of these sinking ship? Maybe, but it's like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound, ladies and gentlemen, at this point. It might slow the bleeding for a second or two, but it's not going to solve the whole problem. So I think Horn hit the nail on the head. No one's coming to save this defense. There's no magical savior riding into Bank of America Stadium on a white horse to fix this disaster. The only way this team is going to stop the bleeding is if the players they've got start playing better. Period. It's that simple. It's that fucking urgent. Right now, the Panthers defense is a joke, ladies and gentlemen. But if they're going to avoid, being the punchline of the NFL history, it's on every player wearing a Panthers jersey to step the hell up and every coaching staff member to step the hell up and prove that we belong on the field. All I'm asking for Ejiro Evero is show me some type of answer, show me some type of adjustments, because I'm not seeing it. And it definitely doesn't make sense to me to have our linebackers going one-on-one with Drake London. You didn't even adjust to that. So that's where I get the confusion from. And that's where it bothers me the most. Okay, we announced 4 roster moves. So we signed. So obviously we're trying to fix this pass rushing room with duct tape, basically, at this point. It's basically a sinking ship, and you're just trying to plug those holes with duct tape. They snagged Jacoby Wyndham off of the Steelers practice squad. This guy has some potential. He racked up some impressive college stats, but he's an undrafted free agent. He was an undrafted free. He was undrafted for a reason. Sorry. 6'2", 250 pounds. We hope that basically we hope this works out. And now he's part of the Panthers active roster. Is he going to light the field on fire? Probably not. But given the fact that the Carolina's edge rush is hanging by a thread, thanks to injuries, they'll throw anyone out there who might be able to put some pressure on the quarterback without getting pancaked. If Jadeveon Clowney shoulder doesn't heal up fast, Windmon might see some action. Until then, he's warming the bench at the bottom of the edge rotation. Teron Jackson, who barely did anything in 3 games he played this season, got booted to make room for Windham. And then they signed veteran linebacker Shaq Quarterman to the practice squad. The guy's a 2020 4th-round pick who's basically been used as a special teams body for 63 games for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's not exactly going to solve the Panthers' defensive woes, but hey, they need depth, right? And at this point, they'll take anyone with a pulse. Quarterman stack screams journeyman. He's played 941 snaps, and not a single one was on defense this year. So to make space for him, they axed off Deion Kane. So was Kane going to save this offense? Hell no. So not a big loss there. These moves aren't going to turn the Panthers season around. These are just insurance policies at this point. And we'll see. Here's the thing. When we look at that edge rushing room, ladies and gentlemen, you got to think about DJ Wandoom coming back. You got Jadeveon Clowney. You got Charles Harris. You got Marquise Haynes. Panthers late on their press conference today. Are they doing a press conference? Because we'll do that right now. Because I don't think I got anything else to show you after that one. Actually, what I was going to show you next on my slideshow was something I already talked about Clowney and Taylor Moton. So we can skip that. Let's see if let's see if we can pull it up. Are they going to do are they doing a press conference right now? Guys, do we know if they're doing a press conference right now? Or did they already do it? Because I don't know if I have anything else to go over with you guys But I was trying to see if they were going to do the press conference. We could do it right. We could go ahead and do it right now. Trying to see if they got a press conference coming up. Brooks is back on the field, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a fine look at the man's ass. Jonathan Brooks back at practice. Let's see if there's any updates going on. Oh, well, here's an update for the Commanders. That's just something that we need to know. Running back Brian Robinson is expected to play this upcoming week. That's huge for them. Steelers quarterback, a guy that Carolina could probably look into trading for. Justin Fields. I mean, they basically got a picture of his ass. Justin Fields has a higher passer rating than Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Caleb Williams. 6 of these quarterbacks make over $40 million a year. Fields is making $3 million this year. There's a guy that you could trade Bryce Young for. Just saying. Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady's first move as a Las Vegas Raider owner is to gauge Belichick's interest in becoming the team's head coach. 2 sources tell this would be crazy. That would be nuts. Oh, here we go, here we go. Look, I'm getting some movement. That boy was kind of slick with it, wasn't he? Look at Brant Tiller standing there. Okay. There was that's Jonathan Brooks. Let's see what else we got here. We got some more clips. Some more clips on Jonathan Brooks here. Yeah, we already talked about that. Taylor Moton, tricep, was still not practicing. Tommy Tremble, concussion protocol. Jadeveon Sanders, shoulder. There's Dylan Johnson right there. Just trying to see if there's anything else what maybe we might have missed today. Oh, all right, here we go. Here's a couple more handoffs. Loving these clips of Jonathan Brooks. He's a big boy. Sweet. Now look at Jalen Coker. when you know your audience. That's funny. Let's see if there's anything else for the Panthers that we're missing. Anything else? Set to return. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, Clay Brooks 6'2". Damn. I forgot how tall he was. I just forgot how tall he was. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Appreciate everyone in here. Shout out to everybody that JPT, Green, Kendall Johnson, Marcos Cash becoming another member. Shannon, hopefully you got the membership worked out. I hope you become a member. Appreciate that. They probably won't start Brooks this week, T Green. I would not rush him back on the field right now. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor, join the Discord. Follow me on all my social media. Don't forget about our sponsorship of betus.com. Sign up for free today. Get 125% bonus on your first 3 bets up to $2,000. And also, good Lord, we got the hiccups. And then also become a member today. Yeah, do it. Why not? All right. Appreciate everyone joining. Got to get some more content out to you. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. 3 things. Be blessed. Today I'm going to leave you with 3 different things. Be blessed, be safe, and keep pounding. Peace.